There's a moment many deeply perceptive people face, yet few speak of. It's quiet, subtle, arriving not in moments of achievement, but in everyday solitude. Like sitting alone in your room, or walking home after a long day, when you realize the very quality others praise is what gently sets you apart. You think differently. You notice faster than you can feel. At first, it feels like a gift, a sharper lens through which to see the world. But over time, something shifts. Something quiet grows heavy. The sharper your mind becomes, the lonelier life can feel. Because intelligence isn't just solving puzzles, it's seeing everything. Patterns, motives, silent tensions, often before anyone else senses them. When your thoughts outpace the present, a space opens between you and the world, not from choice, but because your mind is already 2 steps ahead. Imagining, predicting, questioning what most never pause to consider. It's like standing just outside a room full of conversation, listening, analyzing, but never fully stepping in. If you've ever been called gifted, mature, or insightful beyond your years, you might know this feeling. And maybe you've struggled to name it. Because society celebrates intelligence so loudly, it seems wrong to admit there's a cost. But there is a quiet cost, a hidden one. It shows up in subtle ways. The pressure to always understand instantly. The expectation that you'll make the right choice simply because you know better. That flicker of frustration when people look at you as if you're speaking another language. Or that blend of empathy and distance, understanding others' emotions clearly, yet struggling to express your own with the same ease. You start to wonder, if intelligence is meant to help, why does it sometimes complicate everything? People praised you for having answers, but no one taught you what to do when those answers turn into questions. No one taught you how it feels when your mind begins to separate you from the world around you. Because while people admire the outcomes of intelligence, the ideas, the clarity they often miss, the inner experience, the truth is, highly perceptive people carry invisible burdens. Like the burden of thinking too much, not because you want to, but because your mind doesn't know how to stop. The world enters at full volume. Every detail, every shift in tone, every unspoken meaning, your mind collects them like a net catching leaves in a river. You process what most people walk right past. You notice hesitation before speech. You sense discomfort behind a smile. You detect patterns without trying. And sometimes you wish you didn't, because once you see something, you can't unsee it. Once you understand, you can't return to innocence. Intelligence doesn't just sharpen the mind, it sharpens awareness, even in moments when softness would have been easier. And then there's the burden of being misunderstood. You explain something, and you're told you're overthinking. You share a thought, and it's called too complex. You try to simplify, and it still sounds like you're speaking from somewhere unreachable. After a while, you learn to shrink parts of yourself just to blend in. Not because you want to dim your mind, but because constantly slowing your thoughts to match the world is exhausting. You become a translator of your own mind, a skill you never meant to master. But here's what many miss. The higher your intelligence, the more you may experience something called cognitive isolation. It's not loneliness in the usual sense. It's the feeling of living from the inside out, watching the world move at a rhythm that doesn't match your own. Your mind is always elsewhere, thinking in spirals, not lines. Questioning what others find simple, feeling deeply, even in silence. You're slightly out of phase with everything around you. Most highly intelligent people don't struggle with understanding, they struggle with belonging, with letting go of the need to analyze every feeling, with the pressure to always be the capable one, with the fear that showing uncertainty would disappoint those who expect you to have all the answers. they struggle with this quiet truth. Intelligence doesn't make life easier. It makes it clearer. And clarity can hurt the most. Because once you see the world's contradictions, flaws and inconsistencies, it's harder to live on the surface. You sink deeper, think deeper, feel deeper. You become the person people come to for advice, but rarely the one they truly understand. Sometimes the smartest thing about you becomes what keeps you awake at night. But intelligence also brings emotional challenges rarely discussed. Like the difficulty of turning your mind off when thoughts spiral, not because something's wrong, but because your mind is always searching for meaning, or replaying conversations, analyzing every word and pause. Sometimes you're not anxious, you're just thinking at a depth others mistake for worry. There's also the hidden weight of potential. When people call you capable or gifted, those words become expectations, doors you're meant to walk through, standards you're meant to keep. And when you fall short, even slightly, you feel that gap intensely. Highly intelligent people don't just fear failure, they fear not becoming who they believe they could be. This leads to a quiet, self-imposed perfection, where even small mistakes feel amplified. When you grasp things quickly, people assume you'll grasp everything quickly. When you're good at one thing, they assume you'll be good at all things. Intelligence stops feeling like a trait and starts feeling like an obligation. Yet perhaps the most tender cost is how intelligence shapes your emotional world, not by making you cold, but often the opposite. Many feel emotions intensely, but express them differently. They intellectualize pain, rationalize fear, analyze feelings that would be easier to simply feel. It's not a lack of emotion, it's feeling too much to show it easily. Intelligence helps you understand your emotions, but not always to sit comfortably inside them. You know why you're sad long before you know how to soften that sadness. You can describe loneliness before you can soothe it. So you live in a mind that feels everything clearly, yet processes it alone. This creates a quiet paradox. The smarter you are, the harder it becomes to ask for help. You've always been the solver, the responsible one, so even when you need support, a voice whispers, you should handle this alone. But intelligence doesn't remove human needs. It doesn't erase longing, confusion, or heartbreak. It only gives you more words to describe them, and sometimes more words make feelings more complex, not less. There's a quiet ache many carry, the longing for someone who understands without you having to simplify yourself. Someone who can follow your thoughts without slowing down, who listens not just to your words, but to the meaning beneath them. Someone who feels like a home for your mind, not just your heart. You don't need equal intelligence, just someone willing to meet your depth instead of fearing it. Yet even with all this, the loneliness, the pressure, the emotional layers, there's something profoundly human about a perceptive mind. Beneath every quick thought, every moment of overthinking, there's a person trying to navigate a world not built for depth. You're not too much. Your mind isn't a burden. It's a reflection of a brain that feels alive in ways that can overwhelm a brain that sees with both sharpness and softness, that has spent years balancing understanding with belonging. And if no one has told you, there's nothing wrong with you. You're simply a complex mind, living in a simple world. The hidden cost of intelligence isn't just about how others see you, it's also about how you see yourself. Many reach a point where they realize their greatest misunderstanding came from within. The belief that intelligence should make everything simpler. But the more you understand, the more you see how much is left to understand. Intelligence expands the world, and that expansion can feel like standing before a vast landscape, unsure where to step. You see possibilities everywhere. Every path branches into 10 more. Every decision opens new questions. While this curiosity is extraordinary, it can also overwhelm. You feel not the fear of choosing wrong, but the pressure of choosing at all. When you can imagine so many futures, the presents can feel too narrow to contain them. And there's the quiet burden of being the one who gets it. You've been praised for figuring things out, relied on for answers, and over time, you start tying your worth to your clarity, not your questions, to your strength, not your uncertainty. So when life presents moments, every human faces moments of not knowing you, turn inward, not with compassion, but with criticism. I should be able to figure this out, you think, even when the problem isn't intellectual, but emotional. Even when the answer lies not in logic, but in vulnerability. Highly intelligent people often struggle most when life asks them to be emotional instead of analytical, when clarity comes from connection, not insight. And because you've built an identity around being capable, you might deny yourself the softness of being supported. But here's a vital truth. Intelligence does not replace humanity. It doesn't remove the need for comfort, patience, or companionship. In fact, the heart may be where intelligence meets its match, because feelings don't follow logic. They twist, shift, contradict, and for an analytical mind, that can be unsettling. Not because you don't feel, but because you feel intensely and try to understand too quickly. Many struggle in relationships not from lack of care, but from caring so deeply, they overthink every detail, questioning their worth, replaying moments, analyzing emotions instead of trusting them. This can create distance, not from a lack of feeling, but from fear of overwhelming others with the depth of what you feel. And there's the quiet challenge of connection when your mind leans toward depth. You long for conversations that explore ideas, meaning, layers, but the world often stays on the surface. Small talk, simplicity, routine. You don't want to be complicated, you just want to be understood without hiding your inner world. And because such understanding feels rare, you learn to tuck parts of yourself away, sharing them only with those who feel safe enough to receive them. Perhaps the deepest cost is the expectation you place on yourself, to always be composed, to always have a plan, to navigate life with precision. But intelligence doesn't shield you from confusion, heartbreak, or fear. It only gives you more language to describe them. And sometimes that language makes the experience sharper, not softer. There are moments your intelligence becomes a double-edged sword. You see risks too clearly, foresee endings too soon, comfort others with wisdom you struggle to apply to yourself. Yet beneath all this, there is beauty in a mind that refuses to settle for the surface. While intelligence comes with a cost, it also brings a rare depth. You notice beauty others overlook, the details in a glance, the truth beneath a smile, the way a moment can change a day. You see stories in patterns, lessons in mistakes. You feel the world as a landscape of connections. You carry empathy not in waves, but in oceans. This depth, though overwhelming at times, grants you an insight that can change lives, your own and others. Highly perceptive people often become the quiet observers, the deep feelers, the ones who transform feeling into understanding. And yet, many carry a silent fear that their mind sets them apart too much, that they're destined to walk through life slightly alone. That depth is a distance, not a bridge. But that fear is rarely true. The world needs minds like yours that question, imagine, and see complexity with both clarity and compassion. The challenge isn't to become less intelligent, but to become gentler with yourself, to let your intelligence be a tool for understanding, not a weapon for self-criticism, to let your depth be a doorway to connection, not a reason to withdraw. Because intelligence is not meant to isolate, it's meant to illuminate, to help you see the world more clearly so you can live more fully, to help you understand yourself so you can move with purpose, to help you navigate emotions, not avoid them. There's one more hidden cost, the cost of being highly aware in a world that often prefers simplicity. When you naturally see patterns and implications, you become sensitive to what others dismiss: inconsistencies, emotional shifts, unspoken tensions. This awareness is a strength, but it can drain you when the world expects you to accept things at face value. There will be times your understanding makes you feel older than you are, times you feel you've lived multiple emotional lifetimes in a single day. Times your empathy feels too big for your heart, times your thoughts feel too loud for the moment. But this doesn't mean you're difficult or detached. It means your mind is awake. Your heart is involved. You are fully present, even when it's challenging. Perhaps the most healing truth is this: intelligence doesn't require perfection, certainty, or constant control. Sometimes, the strongest thing a brilliant mind can do is let go of pressure, expectations, the belief that you must always be ahead. The real gift of intelligence isn't thinking faster, it's seeing deeper, recognizing meaning where others see routine, understanding emotions with a clarity that helps you grow, not just analyze. You don't have to carry the world alone just because you understand it more clearly. You don't have to solve every problem just because you see it first. You don't have to hide your depth just because it's rare. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to feel uncertain. You are allowed to be human in the places where intelligence has made you feel responsible. In moments of doubt, remember, your mind is not a burden, it's a lantern. It lights up what others walk past. It shows possibilities others don't consider. It reveals truths that help you navigate with greater awareness. And while that light can sometimes make the world feel heavier, it also lets you see beauty with a detail few experience. The hidden cost of high intelligence is real, but so is the hidden beauty. The beauty of growing not just in knowledge, but in wisdom. You are not alone. The world is full of people who think deeply, feel intensely, and seek meaning. You may not always see them, but they exist. And when you meet them in friendship, in love, even in passing, you'll realize intelligence doesn't isolate forever. It attracts minds that resonate with yours. And in those moments, you'll see, your intelligence was never what separated you. It was what led you to the people who would finally feel like home. Because the ultimate truth is this: the cost is real, but so is the reward. And that reward is a life filled with depth, meaning, curiosity, connection, and a profound awareness of what it means to be human. Your mind is not a weight, it's a gift. A rare, remarkable gift that comes with complexity, but also immense beauty. And as you move forward, the greatest change won't come from trying to change your mind, but from learning to trust it, to embrace how it thinks, honor how it feels, and allow it to be both analytical and emotional, logical and sensitive, structured and free. Because in the end, intelligence isn't about being ahead of others. It's about being aligned with yourself. And once you understand that, the hidden cost starts to feel less like a burden and more like a path toward a deeper life, a truer self. A world where your mind is not carried alone, but shared gently, authentically, courageously, with those who appreciate it most.